Hi, and welcome to Discovering Dataflex. And in this video, we're gonna try to prepare the application for delivery. So you've built something that works, basically have an entire application uh, that solves some of the things the customer was asking for in your initial meeting. And now you just want to make that little bit extra touch before you show the client the application for the first time, just to wow them a little bit extra. And that's what we're going to do today. So let's dive in. So as you see, we have a regular design up here. It's the default one when you run a web application in Dataflex. But when you're going to show it for the customer, you might want to change it up a bit to look a little bit more like they want it to. So it's a good idea in this phase to perhaps show them a few layouts, what it could look like. And I actually have a picture of that. And this is what it could look like when you show it to the customer. It's like, yeah, you have this option, which is a very clean, mobile-friendly layout, or it's flat, which is kind of a modern style. You have this one, which is Google's design. So if they are used to Google products like Gmail or YouTube, then this product or this design will feel familiar. So it might be a good idea. There's also other frameworks to build applications in, like Vue or Angular, for instance. You can also use React with the material design. So it's a design framework, and you can apply it to Dataflex as well. So you get the application to look like this. Then we have this, which is more high contrast. So if the client have some site problems, or someone who's going to use the application have a hard time reading text, then this might be a good option to take. Here's the default one, which is a nice clean view. And if the client wants something that looks like it's a Windows application, because that's what they're used to, they want the web application to look the same, then you have this Windows-like option. And those are the main built-in for web applications. You have another for mobile web, but these are the ones we have to go with right now. But we might not be happy with that. We might want something that look like this, but we want some other colors because our branding colors are green. So let's see how we can do that. Let's start with looking at how we could change the layout of the application. And that could be done by going to the app source and just switch the theme here. So what we could do is go in here and press F1, and we get the documentation for CSS Themes. But I would expect there to be some information about the different themes here, but it's not. So what we have to do is go into the our workspace folder and see in the app HTML, we do have some CSS themes. We can go in and look at those, and here you have the different one. So if I want to use the flat desktop, for instance, I could copy that and just paste it in here. And if I now run the application, you see already here, but it's already in the flat design. If I want to have it to look like, let's say, Windows-like, why would you want to do that when you're moving to the web? But someone might. And you see already here, starting to look like the Windows application. So And even if I go in here, it feels like I'm in a Windows application, more or less. So it's just changing the style here, and I want to go with the flat desktop. But as I said, I want to change some colors and stuff. So how do I go about doing that? If you go into the data access web page, let's see where we have that. There we go. And click products. And then under other products, you have Dataflex Styler. So I want to open the styler, and it just reloads the page. So I have to go down here. Here's a link that opens the styler. You see styler.dataaccess.eu. And here I can pick the themes for basically for the flats. And I can, and you also have material design in here. And right now I'm working with 20, but I suppose that the style for 19.1 will work as well. And we're working with flat desktop, this one. And I want to pick a main color. And our website is kind of in the green, so I want to pick this green color. So I inspect elements and I find the, let's see, header. I'm not going for the header. Site content, footer, and here we have some color. So I'm going to pick that one and go into our styler and paste that color in there. And already the application has changed into this color. Now I would like to pick some, basically that does almost all of the work for us. We can then go in and these yellow lines here, we might want to pick some, we have some nice yellow color here, but there are a lot of tones and shades and stuff you can play around with. I used to opt for not playing around too much with these because it can get really nasty, but you can do small changes. These are calculated, you can change them if you like. I would perhaps want to go with a bit darker. No, here. Inspect, and then I got this green. So I can try that green and see if that feels better. What do we do now? We download the theme. My custom theme, yes. Yeah, let's keep that. And we're gonna put it in the HTML CSS theme. Save. Show in folder. And extract here. And now I can copy this and paste it in here instead. So this is now my default theme. And if I run the application, you can already see here, but it's all green. We might want to add a logo to the application. And we actually have to go into the index file to do that. So we go into the app HTML, index HTML, and we also go into images. This is in the app HTML. Yeah, I got this one. This is a small one. And in here we can actually see where the body is. So this is the viewport. and I would like to put the logo on top of that. So you can just do that. Here's our image, and if I now go in and reload the page, we have our image here. Of course, we might want to style it and put some additional things on here. So we might want to call this the ID branding, and then we want to put this in our CSS, and you should not put it in the themes CSS, because or not even in the engine somewhere. And you have this CSS style here, and here you have application CSS. So that's where you want to put your own CSS code for the application. And right now I just want to make the logo a bit smaller. So I want to take the image and say the height should not be 50 as it's originally, but say 40 pixels. And in the branding, I might want to add some padding. Let's say 1 rem. And let's see how that goes. Nothing happens. And here is an interesting issue, because the way the CSS is set up, it's not caching. So what you actually need to do is go in here, reload the page, and then see where is the application CSS. There it is. And if we open a new tab, you can see that it's empty. And that is because this is the cached version. And Dataflex makes sure that the version is the latest for the application, but you have to go in here and refresh. But I'm going to show you a small trick in a minute. But now the cache is updated, so we can go in here and refresh the page again, and now it actually looks better. But the small trick to solve this, because you don't want to ship this out to the customer and then the customer says, well, it looks like crap because it's completely empty. So if we go into the Dataflex engine and the include, you can actually see that they have this version number that they add to the version of the CSS. So they're including the style CSS here with the latest version of Dataflex. But if you want to add an additional version number when you change something in the CSS, you can actually do that by using this string here. And I haven't seen any documentation about it, but what you basically do is go in, and before the Dataflex engine is called, you define this variable and then just give it a version number, _1, for instance. Doesn't matter, just anything. And every time you do a change in the CSS that you publish, you just go in and change this number here and make sure that the index file is also updated. So that's what about that. And now it's time to show this to the client. We have a nice application, we have the branded logo, and it works. The client expects a mock-up where you show basically the main things, no details, no specific functionality, just an application that works. And you have actually a complete application with styling, and you feel that you're ready to deliver. But now it's time to take your notebook and pen and go and talk to the customer, show them the application, and take notes. Everything they say, take notes, write it down, and then ask them to prioritize all the things, all the notes you've taken, so that you repeat the notes and ask what features they were asking for, and also let them try it for a while, play around with it, because when they see this application, they will notice, well, I wanted an extra search feature, or when I click here, I want an extra button that does something, or I would like an image of the thing here, or I want to scan the product with a barcode and have it appear automatically in my list here. So these are things that that will extend the project, and you will do more work for the client, and they will eventually get a much better product in the end. And then ask for a budget. Where do the customer expect this? What do the customer expect this project to cost? And then don't give them a price for any of the things. Just go home, look at the list, perhaps try to implement some of the things you know that the customer really wants, so you have them. Then you can see how much time you're going to spend on them, and you can build after that. But yeah, take a day off, think of the project, think of the questions that the customer were asking. And now the only thing that remains, as usual, we're going to put this into Git, so we're going to see what's happened here. We have added our application CSS. Let's stage that. And we added our own theme that we downloaded from the styler application. We added the logo. Some people don't want to put images on Git. Others do because they are not feeling that much anyway. So I'm just going to put the logo up there. Larger images you might want to avoid, and videos and stuff like that. But if it's just an icon or a logo, that's fine to put into Git. In our index, we got this version that makes sure that when the customer reloads the page, they get the updated version. And here's our logo implementation into the application. Simple as that. And we want to stage that as well. And here is where we change the theme in our application. So there we go. And we just write styling and branding updates. There you go. So I hope you liked this video, and if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please put them in the comments below, and subscribe so that we see each other again next week. Have a nice week. Bye bye.